I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This, of course, is Anthony Sain. Here we are recording remotely today. Kenny Stubblefield is away in Texas. Man, just wrapped up covering the Memphis Tigers disappointing loss against Wichita State in the AAC Tournament today. Kenny is joining us now. Kenny, what is going on, my brother?
My brother, it's good to see you, man.
Man, I'm gonna promise you this. We will talk about the Tigers in this segment, and me and my guest, Chris Ingram, will not talk about the Tigers at all today.
We'll speak nothing more of it, right?
We will bury this, man. My man Kenny, I know you've been up since like 3 or 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning, traveling down to Texas for the AAC tournament. Brother, I thought I was gonna see you Tuesday. You know, it looks like we can do breakfast tomorrow.
Hey,
if you want to.
You want to get some brunch tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we don't get the kids together and have brunch, man. You were headed back to Memphis, man. Disappointing loss. You had to laugh to stop from crying, man. You guys did your post-game show tough. You know what I mean? I was giving you hell a little bit in the comments. The fans were just disappointing loss for the Tigers, man. Just capping up just a ugly ass season, man. You know, just from whether it's the 15-2 start to, you know, winning 10 games in a row and then just losing the way they've lost throughout the season, 4 games in a row at one time, losing to Rice, and then losing. I ain't gonna lie, man, this is the worst loss of the season to me because, like Coach Hardaway said, you're playing like you had another game tomorrow, and you didn't. You know, you lose, your season's over pretty much, and you lose to a Wichita State team that you beat twice. I mean, come on, man. One of the worst teams in the conference, one of the worst teams in the country. You should have won that game.
I think Roman said they won 5 games in conference all year.
Horrible, man. Horrible stuff.
And like you said, a neutral court. And one of the things that's interesting about this Tigers fan base is that they travel really well to this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the time, I mean, we're talking about in past years, they've had SMU, they've had Houston, they've had this year they have Rice, they have UTSA, they have UNT, which is like right down the street.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, bro, ain't nobody beating the Tiger fans coming down here.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. Like those fan bases aren't as big and they just don't travel like, you know, even in-state. The in-state teams aren't traveling like the Tigers are going to travel for sure.
Like in-city. Like really.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Literally, nobody gives a damn. Well, man, it's really disappointing. I'm watching this super weird press conference of Penny Hardaway and the players. And it's like, you know, like I said, it's that same middle school me who's pulling for, you know, Penny Hardaway, right? It's the same dude that, you know, had me hooping in black socks back when when the Tigers had the black socks or whatever, and wanted to hoop in Converse. And you remember Memphis State was wearing those Converse that year, right? So I'm that same kid looking at, you know, a guy who's my hero, and then just like at this point, another side of me is just super disappointed in him. You know what I mean? He's kind of deflecting a lot of things, and we've seen fans even deflecting these things. Like I said a long time ago, man, I'm wired to take the side of the players. I'm not wired to hear some coach like saying things, just throwing the blame on players. And I'm even that way with Penny Hardaway, man. Like I'm a huge Penny Hardaway supporter. Some guy was calling me a hater in the comments of my show the other day. Like, dude, I'm literally sitting up here with Penny Hardaway shoes on my feet, man. I literally just got my 1-cent T-shirt from Nike the other day. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like I'm a Penny Hardaway fan, but it is fair to be critical. And I was listening to you guys post-game show, and I heard Roman, some guy was like, man, you guys are, you know, being hard on the team. Just go pick another team or whatever, right? And then Roman was like, well, you know, this ain't our team, man. We just cover. I'm like, no, man, this is my team. Like, I want to see these dudes do good, man. But like, it's when you have a loss like this in a conference tournament game where you know all the chips on the line, there's just certain things you don't want to hear, right? You don't want to hear from your coach. And I was a little disappointed, a little let down by Penny's responses, not just in this game, but just throughout the season, how he's just kind of deflected things and not having an answer. And I had a game plan, and today add a new one, man. I worked 20 hours a day It's cap, Penny. Like, you ain't working 20 hours a day, bro. You're going to sleep at some point. Plus, he said he's got family stuff he's dealing with, man. So you're not. That's just not true, man. You know what I mean? So
hey, listen, every one of us have been in our emotions at some point.
Yeah.
Said some things that just aren't true, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I think in a lot of ways that this post game press conference revealed a lot, but also at the same time, it's like, man, that man is hurting right now, and I get that, right?
It was tough. It was tough to watch him like that. It's tough to watch him like this. Period. And he said that, man, I'm a player's coach, and
which
all
is true.
these things,
Which is 100%.
That's who Penny is, man. He's not going to be able to change that. Like, and he's going to be the guy who's going to be super cool, relaxed on the sideline, kind of trusting his game plan, not really going off on guys. And he's saying, he's got to go back to the drawing board. Penny is just who you are, man. And I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing. You don't have to change yourself. Gonna be tough, man. Some tough decisions he's gonna have to make. This team is, when you get into this NIL transfer portal game, you got to get a new cast of guys out there every year. You know what I mean? And he talked about how his team's been known for defense, and this team was not a good defensive team. I can't argue with him on that. This team was not like the typical Penny Hardaway defensive-minded teams. And I say this all the time, man. When you're getting guys late in recruiting, I did not have this attitude, and this is a hindsight of 2020 thing. But sometimes there's a reason why those guys are available at the end of recruiting. You know what I mean? And there are guys who may know certain things about you, or you know these things as well, but you think, well, I can fix them. I'm Coach Pete. You know what I mean? I'm Coach Penny Hardaway, and he just had a bunch of guys that were turds on his team, man. Just being honest with you, bro. He had a lot of guys that just seemed like they were turds, and that's including. And that's not just the guys who just got here, man. You know what I mean? And we saw the post of Malcolm Dandridge today on his social media. If you go by just reading the face value, it can read one way. If you go by, if you know type stuff, like, oh shit, I hope this don't mean what I think it means type stuff. So it's like it's just a bunch of just wild stuff, man. And then just kind of my observations and stuff. I definitely want to get your takes on it, watching it up close as you were at the tournament. But I'm watching Jeremy Hunt on Twitter. And he puts this tweet out and he says, man, you can't blame Penny, and he's not out there playing. Just the cliche things you hear all the time. Insert whatever coach name, ain't just a Penny thing. Can't blame Penny, and these kids ain't from here, and they don't play. They're not playing for the city. Man, UConn just won the national championship, man. I don't even know what city they're in. Like, and I doubt they're full of kids from Bristol or whatever the hell they're from. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where UConn plays.
Right, they play in Storrs, Connecticut.
Right, I don't know who. I doubt there's a bunch of kids from there playing. You know what I mean? I doubt there's even a bunch of kids from Connecticut playing.
I mean, it's like 13 kids in Storrs, so it's not like he's fill out a roster.
That whole thing, and everybody gets Memphis is a prideful city, man. But it's like you shouldn't have to get local kids here or kids who care about Memphis to be good. Just have pride in yourself, man. Have pride in your team. You know what I mean? Be the type of guy who wants to compete. And
listen, I'll say this about that real quick. I get fans saying stuff like that. I get even Penny when he's stir up the crowd, stir up the fan base, mode, saying stuff like that.
Putting y'all in the sunken place.
Putting y'all in the Penny sunken place.
Putting up there, stirring tea on the podium.
It felt really weird to see a former player say that, because I think that's, I think that's bullshit.
Right.
I just do.
Yeah.
Like, you think these players care about that stuff?
No.
And so you got a former player saying that. I'm like, bro, what are you like?
When we had a team full of Memphis kids, we didn't want that either, man.
Exactly.
And I said that already as well. I really hope Penny can pull through this, man. There are elephants in the what is it? Pink elephants. What's the word?
Elephants in the room, baby.
Yeah, there are elephants in the room that have to be addressed. This Malcolm Dandridge stuff, we don't know what is behind. We don't know what's going to happen with that. There's some type of investigation going on that is still pending. There's not been a ruling on that. We don't know if it's just Malcolm involved or not.
It's going to be a real. It's going to be a real MFer.
Was it?
They announced tomorrow that he's cleared.
Yeah, exactly right. They could have had him. And
I'm joking. That's not. I don't mean to make light of Malcolm.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
And going back to your the post game show, And I get it, man. We all want to see Penny do well, and it sucks to see my guy with his head down, looking defeated like that after this season. It's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Guy in the chat was like, "Man, it's just like the Grizzlies, right?" Like, stop, bro. Like key injuries. I'm like, bro. Now David Jones, Quinterly, Walton, Tomlin, all them dudes were gone. Yeah, this is like the Grizzlies. But man,
if they were rocking out like Noah Stansberry every single day,
it's like that was
comparable,
man, no.
Right?
No,
like if Joe Cooper,
your best players were out there, bro.
And
like Malcolm Dandridge is like losing Brandon Clark, and Caleb Mills is like losing D'Angelo Melton. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. Like, don't act like you just lost. You had enough guys to beat Wichita State, bro. You know what I mean? You had enough guys to beat Rice.
Right.
I'm sure Rice would be fine if they had a Naquan Tomlin on their team and not a Malcolm Dandridge. I'm sure they would love it. You know what I mean?
Did you hear the Rice coach? The Rice coach got fired today, by the way.
For real?
Yeah.
How you beat Memphis and still get fired? What more do you want from me, man?
What more do you want from him, man?
But no, man, it's tough though, man. Like,
I'll say this, man, real quick.
Rat season. Go ahead.
On the post game show, I responded quite. I think for me, especially when we're live and stuff like that, I responded pretty abruptly because.
Oh yeah, you was saying I was saying stuff I ain't saying like, hey, can you tripping to go get you in there, my boy? Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
No, I think I accidentally put up one of your quotes when I was trying to post something. Anyway, no big deal.
Yeah.
But I am tired of the narrative around Penny Hardaway and critique in this city.
Right. It's old, man.
That he is like not. That he's not available to be critiqued in his job, right? Like even saying, even some of the comments he made, man. Like, and I talked about this with Roman. Honestly, man, I came into this week going, I could see them winning the entire thing, this whole entire tournament.
I said. You know what else I said?
But it also wouldn't surprise me if they lost to Wichita State, and there was one main reason for that, is because it felt like to me this whole last week that Penny has been completely distracted away from what's really important, and that's the games, right? Like it's a coordinated effort by boosters and his agent and himself and other people coming out talking about him being fired and fans want him fired and how this is crazy and all this, and I'm like going, and you even mentioned it on the show the other day. You got to stop watching Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So guess what? Those people are louder today than they were a couple of days ago. So
100%. But it was so wild to me, man. Like honestly, the wildest part about it was not that the fan base is saying that, or that some of the fans are saying that on Facebook. The wildest part is that Penny responded to it.
Right.
Like that was stunning to me because I'm sitting there going, man, you got to figure out how to play Jordan Brown some passable minutes in this game,
right?
Like in this tournament, instead of
not worrying about what people are saying on Facebook,
worrying about what Mildred and Maud said over on Facebook, right?
And I'm gonna say this, man, like you got out of character a little bit in the live, and you came and you apologized, right? But you had to be there. Your responsibility for today was to travel to Texas, cover this game, host a post game show. So dealing with those comments was part of what you had to do, right? Penny ain't got to deal with that shit, man.
You ain't got to deal with that shit at all. It's a thing, but and I say this, and I even stopped myself in the middle of the post game show because one of the things that I feel like is so unique to this city and this fan base is when we start to critique Penny, we always have to like bookend it with, I love Penny. I watched him. I had his shoes. I grew up, man. I was, I've told the story about a hat that I had, like all this kind of stuff. It's over with, man. Like, listen, like this is we love that guy. We love that player. But he is the head coach of the University of Memphis.
Right.
And he is going through it right now. And so we can support, but at the same time, man, like
you gotta call it what it is.
It is okay to critique. It is okay to analyze. It is okay. Yeah. It doesn't mean that we hate Penny, we want him gone. It means, man, there was some real life shit that was going on in that game and this season, and it needs to be called out.
I like what John Martin said. He basically said, man, look, Penny, you've earned the equity. You've earned us
100%
to support you. You know what I mean? But, man, you got to do your part, man. You got to own up to this stuff. You got to take it to the next level. Like, we we can't support you. We can't keep supporting you if you ain't supporting yourself, man. You play a part in us supporting you, basically.
It's true. It's true.
So,
do you know how much I'm going to celebrate if Penny Hardaway takes this program to a Final Four over any other coach in this city, in this country?
No other way, because the thing is,
I'm gonna lose my shit, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, if we go on the path to a national championship, right? It probably won't happen in one season. And if a coach gets close to doing it, somebody's gonna come get that coach and he's gone. You know what I mean? So you start all over again. So, but with Penny, there's an actual realistic path that he could eventually get it together and they can win it. But it really just sucks, man, for sure. It really just sucks real bad. And like I said, it's almost at the point where you're not allowed to say anything. Because you got to deal with all these dummies who got something to say. But like I said, we've got to deal with it. Like, we're in that industry, you know what I mean? But Penny, you don't, man. You don't.
I'm cool with it. It kind of pissed me off today a little bit, mainly because I've been up for.
Yeah, I said, man, my boy tired. And then you was like, well, man, when you want to record? I said, bro, hey, go get you a nap.
Well, listen, here's the problem. Right now, if I go down and take a nap,
it's over. It'll be Friday afternoon when
it's gonna be a solstice, bro. Like, I'm gonna be out for a minute.
Yeah, I get that for sure, man. I get that for sure. But Kenny, bro, it's sad times in the city, man. City team down bad today, man.
Down bad, man. The city's down bad. Yep.
Yeah, we'll be all right though, man. Penny will figure it out, and if you don't, he won't. You know, if somebody else will, I guess. I mean, it's sad, tough to watch them lose like that. It's tough to see the season end. But like we said the other day, man, I can see this team win the whole thing, or I can see them losing the first possible game that they play, and that's what they did. Here, man. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, Chris Ingram, man, who's the host of No Bluffin Podcast. I believe they're debuting Monday. Yeah, they're debuting Monday on video. My boy Chris Ingram is going to be in the building. He's going to be able to sit down with Sain. And when the next time we come back, you'll see me and my guy Chris Ingram. And we'll be back in a minute here on the Anthony Sain Show.
I believe this was Thursday or Friday of last week when I checked it, and there were 2 teams projected to be in from the American. What's hurting Memphis more than anything is freaking South Florida is 15-1 in the conference.
The Rice loss,
right? That's
buddy. Take that one loss away.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, I could talk myself into a 9 or 10 seed easily, right?
Right, but that's a big blemish on the record.
It's huge.
I think the chances are very slim.
Yeah,
I think there's no way that Memphis can go into Fort Worth believing that they got it wrapped up.
Beat Florida Atlantic, wrap up the year. You'd be 23-8. So they win 3 games, 26-8, and you lose that final game against a pretty decent opponent. You've made the case.
Yeah.
But like in the end of the day, we're still gonna be sitting there on Selection Sunday, like just hoping and praying.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
And if you continue to play the starters 30-plus minutes a night.
Please do that. Please do that.
I mean, 33, really. The only one that didn't get – everybody got 33 or more with the exception of Jordan. He played 29, which is fine. I think that's good. He had a good night, too. Stick with the starters is what we were saying, Kenny, right?
Yep.
And what did he do in the second half amongst that run?
Played him for 13 straight minutes.
Straight.
That's
not a sub.
That's a record.
There was a moment in the second half where both JQ and David looked over and were like, yeah, I need a sub. And Penny's like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
I'm like, when is that in the history of anything?
You shut your mouth. Keep playing.
Shut your mouth. When has that ever happened?
No, you shut up. You keep playing.
What's going on?
Penny just looks off into the crowd like, I didn't see you, man. I'm sorry.
Why couldn't we have had that?
We've had subs at 75 seconds into the game.
3 months ago. You couldn't have given no, I'm good. Keep playing.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. It's time for the sit down with Sain. as I told y'all to open the show, we got a very special guest, young man, a good friend of mine. He's going to be not starting, but he's going to be unveiling a different edition of his podcast. He's rebranding and doing some different things. Going to be a video podcast here on Bluff City Media. He's been doing the podcast audio for a while, but we're about to roll out the video version coming very soon. My man Chris Ingram is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Man, my dog, what's going on, Sain, bro? I'm good, man. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. Weather's good here in the M. My son is on spring break. He's been here since Wednesday. So we just been, man, living life, man. You know what I mean? Going to SmackDown Friday, going to 901 FC Saturday, 901 Wrestling Saturday, going to see my aunts in the country tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, man, we a lot of stuff going on, spending time with my kid, man. But I know you just recently had a child, so you know, I know business is about to pick up for you as well, man. Get used to these type of weekends. But this ain't your first one, though, huh?
Nah, man, it's number 2. They born on the same day too, so that's exciting.
Oh man, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, speaking of young ones, man, the Memphis Grizzlies have been rolling out a bunch of kids on us the last few months with all the injuries and everything going on over there. Probably the one that we're all the most excited about is probably GG Jackson. We see Vince Williams excited about his emergence, of course, but with Vince, you kind of feel like he has a ceiling. You kind of know what kind of player you think Vince Williams is going to end up being. Just a solid rotation player, very good defender, guy that can knock down some shots, do some playmaking.
Right.
But with Vince, he's a guy, seems like the sky's the limit. 19 years old, youngest player in the NBA. That narrative, we've been saying that. We probably worn that out, man. I'm ready for next year to come, so we can't say Vince is the youngest player in the league anymore. But GG, GG Jackson, like I said, youngest player in the league, 19 years old. And he's a guy who it feels like his ceiling is extremely high. I know that you're one of the guys who will come out on record saying what you think GG could be. Take us to the future. What do you see GG being next year, and what do you see him being maybe 3-4 years from now?
In a perfect world, man, like I know Jenkins ain't gonna do it. I know he ain't, but man, to me, like you starting to see I talked about it on the Grizz 901 post game the other day, and just you starting to see Taylor Jenkins kind of just relieve the reins on GG a little bit, and I think he was forced to do that because like Jake came back, he had missed all this time, and he been playing sorry when he had been playing, but like recently, it's like. I can't even tell you, bro, if I've ever seen him grab and talk to and yell at Jake the way he does GG. So it's almost kind of like he's having to kind of release those reins because it's like he went out there, he's performing and things like that. And so hopefully next year, in an ideal world, GG will be the starter next to them dudes. But I know, like, just as far as the metrics and everything that Vince has shown this year, Vince probably deserves it a little bit more just because he's shown he can do it with the starters. But I said, I'm on record, bro, like, by year 3, I'm looking at GG to be one of those playoff series that like is his coming out part, like an emergence that GG Jackson is about to be a household name type stuff. Even if he's still, at that point, the 4th or 3rd option, whatever. Like I think that's what I envision him. I kind of liken it to Kawhi Leonard, like when he had this kind of coming out party with the Spurs early on. Paul George when he came out with the Pacers going against LeBron and them. Like that's what I see. I think a lot of times we get caught up in his age, him being 10 and 45th pick. Like, wipe all of that shit away, bro. Like, if he got drafted where he probably would go this year, top 5, if he was 20 instead of 19, like I said, I'm talking about his age, we wouldn't be putting these caps on the dude that we clearly see, like, has the talent that supersedes anything that we done had in a long time, bro. So, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with GG. I think, like I said, I think we got our guy future, and I'm just tired of putting him in or having the conversations about putting him in just a role. He's not a role guy. He's a guy that is going to get, major buckets and have major moments with this team going forward. Yeah,
you definitely see signs of something we haven't had in a long time. The closest player we've had to height, age, skill set, athleticism, all those type of things, probably Rudy Gay. He's not as athletic as Rudy at all, but just a guy who looks like he could just score in bunches, you know what I mean? And he doesn't, he seems like he's playing within the system. He's not a guy that seems like he's out there just taking ill-advised shots or just, just hunting for buckets or whatever. But he seems like a guy that can play within the flow of the system. Efficient scorer, just been able to get to the free throw line. Gigi just shows a lot of skill that this fan base has not seen in the player. We've been overwhelmed by John's athleticism, but as far as like shot creation and like half court scoring and ISO scoring and all those type of things, 3-point shooting, mid-range game, turnaround jump shots, baby post hook, baby post game, all those things he's shown.
Driving to the rack.
Right. And for people who are kind of weathering your expectations or turning down your expectations, don't. Like, whatever you want to say about Gigi Jackson, I'm not mad at you for saying it, because he's a guy who's been a star. He's been that dude all his life. He's been like top player in the nation, every age of his life, So there's nothing I think that's stopping him from doing that. Like you said, if he had just made different choices as far as college and maybe even what school he went to, if he had went to North Carolina or South Carolina or waited and made this his freshman year, which a lot of people were advising anyway because they knew this wasn't going to be a good draft class. But he came out early, bet on himself. I'm not mad. He's probably in a better situation playing for a team that's going to be good as opposed to going to Charlotte or, wherever he may have went. He had stayed, this year. Or Portland or Memphis, you know what I mean? He had to stay in school. So, Vita came out, when he's supposed to come out. So I just think that it's an awesome opportunity for him for sure. But you mentioned Taylor Jenkins. Also in tongue-in-cheek, joking around. But to me, I was thinking today because something I said was, at this point, I'm not concerned about anything that has to do with the coaching situation, mainly because we'll see next year, Like when we get full roster with a center, get all our guys back, get all the pieces you need to compete, then we can start talking about Taylor Jenkins because it won't be anything to talk about. He's either doing it or he's not. You know what I mean? The guys on this team will get him out of here if he's not done when they're at full strength. You know what I mean? So that's something I'm not really stressed out about. I was just sitting in the car today thinking, so what is that going to be like when Taylor Jenkins shows y'all he ain't the guy, right? So
it's coming.
Like, what would that look like, So as far as how many games are you talking? Like, what would have to be going on in your eyes for you think that pressure to cut up on Taylor Jenkins to get him possibly on that hot seat next year?
It's really hard to really gauge that because you look at, and I know it's probably a bad comparison, but it could happen. You just never know. Like, everything's been peaches and cream for the most part as far as his relationship with the players these 5 years or whatever. But you look at, Adrian Griffin was the guy. I feel like that I heard that Giannis like almost handpicked, like he wanted him, and they got his ass out of there before the All-Star break.
He got handpicked to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, man. So like, it's one of them, and they were winning. Like it's one of them things. Like, I don't know how many games they got to lose. To me, it's always about the way that they lose. It's not, the games. Like, even early this year, they was in a lot of games, bro. That 6-19 record when Ja got back, it didn't show how good of a team it really was without him, just because they was throwing stuff at the end of the game, and a lot of this stuff is on him. That's why, like, this year, we had these conversations. Like, it's really, we talk about Gigi and Vince and all these other dudes developing. Well, he should be using this as development for him too.
Yeah,
because it's gonna get down to the nitty-gritty next year. Hopefully, Lord willing, that we in certain playoff series or even late down the stretch in the season. Yeah. He's going to have to win games. Like, you can't just, bro, you've been blessed, like literally blessed to have Ja Morant in your first 5 years of being a coach. Everybody don't get a generational player like that. If you would have put his ass in Orlando or Brooklyn or Atlanta or anywhere else, like, we may not even be seeing this dude's face no more. Like, just keep it in the honey. So it's just, I think it's honestly going to take the players to get fed up and just one of them speak out. I don't care if it's Marcus Smart. One of the leaders, though. It ain't gonna, Gigi have a fit, they gonna throw his ass under the bus. It's gonna be the problem. But I think that's what it's gonna take. I don't even know if it's a win or loss type thing. It's either gonna be a playoff series, the way he performs in that, or they just get tired of him as a person and just say, man, you ain't the one for us.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, man, because with all the things that I've been openly critical, really this year for the first time, really just being like really on his ass about certain things. But one of the things that's really undeniable about him is that he is definitely a part of building a culture here. You know what I mean? Guys respect him. You don't hear any stories, even undertone stories, like off the radar stories about, and we're both, Memphis guys. So, we know people that know people, right? You don't hear anything about the guys in Taylor Jenkins as far as, you don't see any eye rolling, nothing, man, nothing that could hit the media, nothing even abstract, really about him as far as players not respecting him. And I think that's remarkable. You got to give him credit for that. You know what I mean? Whenever you ask guys about him, they've always got positive things to say, glowing things to say about him. And that stuff matters, man. But I guess like you said, that stuff can change. Like it don't take much at all. It's all good till it ain't all good, bro. You know what I mean? So that's not really anything you can really stand on. As far as the offseason goes, probably the biggest question, the draft. I think most people are like, if we draft a player, whatever, man, it's gonna be somebody that's good. You know what I mean? We know some of these names at the top, so whoever it is, we'll be fine with that. But one of the biggest questions has been how we solve this center position, right? My latest stance on this, I think this is the one that's gonna last. I think this is gonna last the whole offseason. I ain't gonna lie.
We keep changing, me and you, bro.
Yeah, me and you, man. All the time. All right. I don't have it like ironed in on a guy, but I've got pretty much the template of how I want to get this done, right? And I'll throw this off you. You're one of the most respected guys I can think of as far as Grizzly stuff is concerned. When you think about a guy like an Andre Drummond, right, who's probably 33, not nearly as old as you thought he was, right? Drummond, like a couple years ago, I thought he was 33 5 years ago,
Right.
So you got a guy like Andre Drummond who could come in, monster rebounder, monster screen setter, big guy that could just kind of swing. I've seen him swing games by himself just with his physicality. You start him, right? You start him, and he plays through the beefy parts of the game, like where you really need to get all those rebounds, right?
Right.
And then you go back to the Grizzlies' tried and true formula of closing games with Jaren at the 5. Those lineups are analytical darlings, you know what I mean? Whether it's Santi Aldama closing with him, whether it's Brandon Clark. And you got a new guy. You got GG Jackson, who's looked very good closing with Jaren Jackson Jr., right? Yep. So I'm like, okay, do that type of lineup. The guy who started really don't matter because he's not going to close the game anyway. And people say, well, why do we – that's the way it's been, man. Like whether it's been JV, whether it's been Steven Adams, none of those guys have closed games for the most part. Those guys do not close games. But if Drummond is cooking and he's looking like he can finish the game, let him finish the game. Like we've always done. We've closed games with Jaren and BC. I just think you're going to see more of that. I think you'll see more of those Jaren Santi, Jaren BC, Jaren GG Jackson minutes as opposed to this starter who's playing 30-something, close to 40 minutes a game. He might be playing like 20, 25 minutes a game. That's where I'm at. A guy you can get on an affordable contract or Nick Richards like we saw last night. Shout out to the black Steven Adams. Nick Richards literally looks like if you told AI to make Steven Adams but black. He literally looks like what it would look like. So that's where I'm at, man. And then you just take your draft pick. You draft the best player available. Doesn't have to be a big. If you think Trey Jemison is a good third big or whatever, third center or backup center, whatever you want to call him, with Jaren on the roster, you do that and you just go draft a guy that can hoop. That's where I'm at today. I want to stamp that. I don't see, I've done the Nick Claxton, I've done the Isaiah Hardensteins, I've done all that stuff, man. But this is where I'm at today. And let's see. I mean, that's where I think I'm gonna be until the offseason. Where are you at? Because me and you, we kind of aligned though. It seems like when the stars get to talking, man, they talk to both of us. So
yeah.
So what are you thinking about that? Where are you at with it right now?
Man, spot on. Like like I said, we don't even have to really talk about it. We'll put a tweet out. You'll put a tweet out. I'll put a tweet out. I put a text. You put a text. And it's usually the same as far as the 4 guys. Like you said, it's been Drummond, Claxton, Richards, and Hardenstein. And for me, it's been Hardenstein damn near for 2 years, a little longer than just this year. Back when we re-signed Tyus.
If he was healthy, man, perfect fit.
Man. And when I found out that he been nursing a sore Achilles, I was like, I don't know, man. This is powerful cause for sure.
I'm about to nurse you in a minute.
And he's a guy that you could play next to Jaren at the 5 a lot, just because he's 7 feet, but he's he quick on his feet, versatile defender, things like that. He can pass a little bit. He's basically like Steven Adams, but he's a little bit more athletic. But I'm with you 100%, bro. Like at this point, when you're talking about roster construction, you're talking about the financial situation that we're gonna have next year. Give Drummond. I mean, is he gonna command more than $12 million? No, I think you can probably.
I don't even think he wants more than 8. I think he'll come on whatever the Grizzlies can get on the taxpayer exception. Whatever
Right.
that max is, I think he'll sign for it. I think he'll sign for it. Yeah.
I think the same thing too. Like you looking at a guy kind of like, Bogut in his twilight years, signing with the Warriors. Like one of them guys that he's later in his career, he just want to win. He want to start. He want the accolades, all of that. You could probably keep him for a long time until you got your center of the future, or eventually if Jaren decided he want to be a 5, he'll be one.
Right.
But I'm with you, bro. Drummond and give me best player available if we keep the pick.
Yeah.
That's number one. I will tell you though, number two, in the ideal world, they can talk all that crap if they want to. If we get a top 3 pick and we call Brooklyn and they say, man, you know what? We tripped out a couple years ago on the 5 first-round picks. We'll take this top 3 pick and
couple
whatever
more
else y'all get.
Yeah.
Man, Mikal Bridges is my starting 4. And let's go. Like Jaren just gonna have to figure it out because we talk like, and me and you had these conversations all the time about Jaren and this mythical creature that people want to replace him with and all this stuff. Like, bro, outside of Embiid and Jokic, he don't really have trouble. I mean, AD gives him issues here and there, but AD is just as flimsy as far as health as everybody else. Outside of them 3 guys, bro, Jaren is literally going at these bigs in the league. So you can knock his rebound.
Like your guys like Drummond, like Hardenstein, they're just like your beefy, rebound vacuum type dudes. So
right. I'm depending on Vince and Mikal Bridges and Bane and Ja. All 4 of them guys can definitely lock in and rebound together. So kill out that noise. That's my ideal. Like if I could just get on my knees and pray and pop up tomorrow, that's what I would say. But otherwise, just give me Drummond and then pick and let's roll next year.
You said that you're down for drafting your guy, push come to shove, if a trade like for Mikal Bridges isn't available. I'm not sure if you're a draft guy or not. I'm not. I openly proclaim this. I don't pretend to be. Whatever y'all say, bro, I'm with it. Whatever y'all say is good. Hey, what does he do? Does he shoot? Does he dribble? What is he? Okay, good. Sign me up, right? Who are your guys that you kind of got like on your short list of dudes that you like? And if you're not that guy either, we can just keep flogging together, brother. But you just tell me which side of that are you on?
No, I tap in, bro. I'm not the one that will sit there and watch every single game on every Saturday.
Right.
But I will kind of look at the Bulls early on in the season, kind of pinpoint certain guys that I want to watch throughout the year. Certain guys kind of, pop up on your radar later on in the season. But as far as a pick, and this is just me personally, like if we keep the pick, what I would love for them to do is go get Khalil Ware out of Indiana. That dude, he's 7'2". He can stretch the floor. He got a lot to his game. People kind of knocked him what he did in Oregon last year. Motor issues and things like that. But he's dominating this year. He's literally all that Indiana team has this year, and I would not be surprised if they make some kind of run in the tournament just based off him alone. I just wouldn't be surprised. And so you're talking about a dude, you're always trying to look for somebody to play with Jaren at the center. Like I said, he's just a guy that can switch, he can block, he can defend, he can rebound, he can do a lot. And here's my caveat. I have not seen the Grizzlies develop one big man, true big man. We got Tillman, we got BC and all these dudes.
Yeah, never happened.
Never. Not even Jaren. Jaren is really learning this stuff on the fly as he goes. Yeah. So that's what worries me. Like it. So that's what worries me right there. But he's probably my number one. And the thing about it is you ain't probably unless he go on a crazy run, you're not gonna have to really spend your top 5, top 6 pick on him. You can get him probably in the mid-round trade back or trade back into it with some some second-round picks or whatever. But that's my main guy that I would love. Outside of that, my 2B or my 1B would be probably Reed Shepherd. Like I just love dude footwork, his shot, and him just being a guy that can come off the bench. I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys as a rookie that you won't notice he's too much of a rookie with a playoff team. He's just gonna be able to fill in and do what he do.
Like Desmond Bain was.
Exactly. So them really like my top. I love Dillingham, but you got Ja Morant. It's kind of redundant at that point. And that's probably it, man. Dalton Connect, good guy, but we got a bunch of forwards. If it ain't a center or a guy that can score, that's really all I'm looking forward to at this point.
Yeah, good points. Good points for sure. Again, this is Chris Ingram, No Bluffin Podcast, coming soon. Got more stuff for you, of course. Going back to what you said about when we were talking about getting the free agent doing the free agent center, right? Instead of trading an asset for a center, which you would have to do for literally any other guy that you're looking at as far as guys that are in that $10, $15 million range. It allows you to bring your entire roster into next season and then figure out what you want to do. You get to see Luke Kennard on the court Marcus Smart on the court, Brandon Clark on the court, and then you can make decisions with that center already on your roster to say, maybe I might need a younger center for the future. But you got all your pieces there, and then you can make that move. Or, man, we need some more. You know, Kennard's a good shooter, but can I get a 6'7", 6'8" shooter that shoots about 38% as opposed to 45%? You know what I mean? You got all your pieces there. And so that's why I'm like, if you could just go that route with a guy like Drummond, like I said, you can have him as your starter. And you just, he doesn't play that many minutes. Jaren's going to get the most minutes. But if you need that rebounder, you got that guy who's your starter and can hold it down for you for sure. So what do you think about that part as far as that element of it, having all your guys at your disposal going into the season?
I mean, we got a stacked team, bro. We've been priding ourselves on being one of the deepest teams in the league the last couple of years. We just got hit with health issues this year. So, I think them rolling out with what they have is not bad. Like, people can say it's not a championship team, but you name me a top 8 that's more versatile than what we have going into next year if you add, a center, just a decent center. Right. And we talked about it a little bit on the post-game show, and I saw your comment too. I want to get we can maybe touch it real quick. I forgot to say just in the last segment, I do like Naz Reid as a potential option, and the only reason I say that is because they gonna have some major tax implications next season, bro. I think 4 players got them folks almost at the tax second apron alone, almost it's ridiculous. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you got.
You hear people talk about Karl Anthony Towns, right? Like, go get probably one person saying it, but you hear people talk about Karl Anthony Towns to the Grizzlies, right? I'm like, dude, there's no way you looked at Karl Anthony Towns' contract, what it's about to do, and you think he's coming to the Grizzlies. That dude's making $60 million coming up soon, bro.
That's
not happening. But Minnesota's about to be in tax hell. They got to make another apron, not an apron, a tablecloth for them folks.
A bill,
man. Who you telling? A napkin? Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. But he makes about, I think it's 12.9, something in that range. He's not even 13 million next year. And another dude that you can play, with Jaren that's versatile. He's not gonna clog up the paint getting his way if he don't have to, but he can get down there and bang too. So that's one dude. We just really honestly one piece away. If you play two, great to stir up the roster. But if they don't make nothing crazy happen this summer, bro, I'm fully confident as long as these dudes healthy and Jenkins don't mess it up. Man, my wife called me delusional sometime when I be sitting there talking about, man, the Grizzlies can win the championship this year. She's like, damn, you sound like a Cowboy fan. Yeah. But if you haven't had these health issues, who's to really say? We don't know. So I'm with it if they run it back, bro.
Because how many teams do you know? Because Desmond Bain is not an all-star, but how many teams have 3 all-star level players? You got an MVP candidate guy in John Morant. You got one of the best shooters in the league in Desmond Bain, defensive player of the year candidate and winner. All defensive team guy and Jaren Jackson Jr. You got this young phenom and Gigi Jackson coming along, and you just got playoff experience with guys like Marcus Smart who've been to the NBA finals, the conference finals over and over and over again. Vince Williams, your perfect role player, dirty work, guard the best guy. You got all of the pieces really to make something happen. So I'm definitely with you, man. I think the Grizzlies will be a team that's in title contention. Another guy that you're kind of known for getting your shit off about is Santi Aldama. You get your shit off about Santi. I'm a Santi guy, man. His first year, I was like, okay, this kid's rubbish. He showed a couple signs towards the end of the season. I was like, okay, I can see this kid getting Kyle Anderson up out of here. Second year, he got Kyle Anderson up out of here. And he had a great sophomore season. Great sophomore year, man. Full of highlights, showed the ability to knock down threes, had a nice little inside game. Defense had holes in it, but you can see his game, Then we go to FIFA, right? We have the FIFA tournament this year, and Santi looks great, right? He's like, man, we got freaking baby Pau Gasol. I'm really thinking he's gonna have a breakout year, man. Then he has, some little nagging injuries beginning of the season. What do you think has caused him to have such a step back season? Because there are some people that are saying, oh, it's simple. Get him around. Last time we saw Santi good, he was good around other good players. Get him around Ja, get him around Dez. He'll be fine. Is it that, man, or do you think are these injuries lingering more than what we want to give him credit for? I have another theory where I think he might have picked up bad habits. I think that the injury might have caused him to say, okay, I can't really get all the way to the basket because I got this issue going on, or I can't do this. So I'm just going to sit out here and shoot these threes and throw these little silly passes. Has that created bad habits now for him? What do you think is going on with Santi? Because he's definitely regressed this season for sure. And he was a guy who was like, people like if I would get on Zaire or I get on Jake, but they said the same thing about Santi. And that's how this got worse in year 3. So what do you think is going on with Santi Aldama? A guy that if his progression had to stay where it was, you would be talking some scary stuff for next year. So where you at? Know where you are on Santi, but what do you think is going on with it?
Man, Santi is my third Grizzly conspiracy. I said on our podcast last week, bro, that I'm 2 for 2 on my conspiracies. Y'all can say what y'all want. If I'm right on this one, I don't know how I'm gonna validate it, but this is just kind of what I see. It's just weird how the Steven Adams situation went down. Like, you know, we know it was some friction there. I don't care what nobody said. It was some friction. Otherwise, he would be back. We would be running it back next year with him. I don't care what nobody say. Like, just read the tea leaves. Him and Steve-O were cool. John Carchar cool with him too, but like he ain't gonna rock the boat. John, like same thing that Reverend Knight said on your show and said, John Carchar trying to keep that logo on his chest.
Yeah,
so he ain't finna rock no boats. I mean, he hardly say anything on the court. I think last night was the first, but not last. The other game, whatever. First time me even hearing him talk on the court, and I'm like, bro, what is happening? He ain't a mute. So, I just really think like with them being cool and close or whatever, I don't, you know, obviously it's probably some stuff that we all ain't privy to or whatever, but I think it may be something there that he may not like that went down, because it's no reason why, like you said, a guy that his trajectory was doing this from last season and FIBA, that he come out and just looking like the dud that he is. It just like, really looks like he don't care,
bro. Yeah.
He don't care to be out there. Like, and you hear these conversations about, well, he's doing it because nobody else wants to shoot the ball, or nobody else is out there to do this and that. And it's like, so who deemed him to be that guy? Because we got Gigi Jackson, we got Vince Williams, we got guys that are better than Santi.
Yeah.
What reason is he running down on taking pull-up threes in transition? Nobody's even in front to rebound. Like, it's just straight up Dylan Brooks-esque go to hell ball. And you know, I don't know if that little argument that he had with Desmond Bain early on in the season, going into halftime, I don't know if you remember that, but you know, a lot of us was looking at it like, oh, okay, they're gonna be, you know, holding each other accountable this year. Even Desmond Bain gonna get their work. But I don't know, bro. It make me feel like he don't want to be a Grizzly long term. Honestly,
it's been weird. Me. So, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm a big conspiracy guy myself, so I'm gonna have to look into that for sure. If you want to hear my latest one, I think the Grizzlies draft pick is already set in stone. I have this agenda where I feel like the NBA is well aware that the post LeBron, post KD, post Steph Curry era is among us, and I think they're prepping the league's next teams. And I'm expecting to see favor for the Memphis Grizzlies when it comes down to the draft. Although it's one of the conspiracies I throw around, man, for sure. Because the fact that they're letting the Grizzlies with these erroneous injuries, and you're not hearing anything about penalties or none of that, I call BS and all that. Because there's no way in the world that those guys are there's no way in the world the league is not flagging what we're doing. For sure. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. That's why I'm not really stressing about whether we're winning or losing games. I think our draft pick is already set in stone. Take for that what you want.
If you had to say what pick you for giving us, he already written down.
Hey, I think they asked the Grizzlies, who do you want? And they was like, all right, we'll see what we can do to make that happen. Bro, we'll derail. Let's go there for a minute with the conspiracies, right? Like, bro, there's no way in the world that $1 billion industry is leaving where franchise changing players are going to play professional basketball to chance. That's not happening, bro. There's no way that they're just letting ping pong balls determine where these guys are going. Like,
exactly.
And I've got a conspiracy of why Ja Morant went to the Grizzlies at 2, why Zion went to New Orleans at 1. It made perfect sense. If I'm Adam Silver, this is why you my guy, right? I can have these conversations with you and don't feel crazy, right? Yeah, if I'm Adam Silver, and I'm a guy who's like, man, let's expand. Let's get 2 more teams in, right? Let's expand this thing. The governors or the owners are not going to like, no, we're not expanding nothing, man. Look at Memphis and New Orleans are trash. Let's just go move them teams to somewhere else.
Right.
So if I'm the owner, if I'm the commissioner, right, and I know I want to expand the NBA, but my 2 smallest markets are struggling like hell, I'm going to give them a stimulus, bro. I'm going to send them Zion Williamson. I'm going to send them Ja Morant. In 3 years, I can come back to the owners and be like, hey, let's go expand. All right, cool. Right. Memphis and New Orleans ain't the projects no more. We can expand now. And people try to argue, be like, why would they send them to New York? New York is going to be fine anyway. New York really got I keep forgetting the boy name.
Got Jalen Brunson, and they acting like they really gonna do something.
You would think they would have got Michael Jordan. You know what I mean?
Right.
New York is going to be big anyway. That market is going to pop regardless. You know what I mean? So they don't have to get the number 1 pick in the draft. You really think I believe that Victor Wembanyama going to San Antonio Spurs with Popovich, who should have retired 5 years ago, is just chance? No. Pop went to them folks and said, hey, I want that kid. Give him to me. All right, Pop, you the GOAT. Sure.
Right.
Great market for him. I know y'all will take care of him.
Right.
These dudes ain't going to random ass places, bro. Cooper Flag ain't going to Charlotte. I can guarantee you that, bro.
Oh, hell no.
There's not gonna be no random stuff where this dudes just end up going somewhere. No, it's not happening. Not happening at all, man. There's no way. The league knows what they're doing. And they sent Zion to New Orleans. They sent Ja to Memphis. And I refuse to believe anything else. Like, I'm sorry. I don't believe that LeBron James just so happened to go to his home team. I don't believe that Derrick Rose just so happened to go to his home team. I don't believe that when LeBron James left Cleveland, I don't think it just so happened that they won 4 straight lotteries in a row. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't believe that. And if it is, man, show us the tape, man. Show us the ping pong balls. Why y'all hiding it? Show it to us if it's real. Hey, you know what I mean?
I always say that the NBA lottery is just like the presidential election, man. All that shit.
Bullshit.
It's all preset, man. Whatever.
Right.
We just out here arguing for nothing.
Because you expect me to believe out of all the people in the world, Donald Trump was voted to be president.
Come on, man.
How you even get in the top 2, fam? But yeah. Anyway, man. My guy, man, Chris Ingram. Chris, final question for you. Of course, we're talking about No Bluffin coming soon. For the people who have not seen the show, man, let them know what they should expect. You and my guy, man, Evan Hayes, one of my mentees from Asylum Media Group. Tell us what we can expect when we see No Bluffin starting next week. I think it's starting next week, right? That's right.
Yeah. Live video starting next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Man, just raw emotion. A lot of stuff that you hear, you know, with saying, I had you on my show and we'll get you back on, at some point here soon. Just telling you, like, you was able to kind of lay the groundwork for us to, number one, men of color, but then 2, just to come on these type of shows, man, and give our real raw opinions, not feel like we got to be, super uptight and say exactly what people want you to say. You're going to get these conspiracies. You're going to get this, what we really feel about the team and do it respectful. Like, we ain't going to sit there and, talk about somebody mama, baby mama drama and stuff like that, but we're going to give you honest opinions about what we feel about the team. You're going to get some, cooler discourse in between. We may jump off subject and talk about some, movies or music here and there, or references to music and movies. But it's just really about, not bluffing and keeping it real, bro. That's really what it comes down to, real raw emotion. And that's what we're going to try to push. And shout out to Evan, for joining on with me, man. He's doing some amazing work with Bluff City Media. He's going to be one of the next up-and-coming guys for sure. He really want to do this. Like, he ain't playing. Making, bro. Man, like, sometimes he be hitting me up and I be like, damn, I'm slacking. Like, he on my ass. So,
he's gonna be a star in the media world for sure, man. He's just got it. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about what you guys are doing for sure, man. So you guys get ready to check that out. Coming soon, No Bluffin Podcast. Chris Ingram, Evan Hayes. Yes, the video version is coming soon to Bluff City Media. You can check it out now. Wherever you listen to podcasts, No Bluffin. My boy Chris Ingram is in the building. About to do something we call this. This is sit down with Sain right here. About to do something called a 3-pointer. Chris, you gonna join me with that, bro?
Hey, I'm ready, dog. Let's go.
All right, let's get it then. We're gonna do the 3-pointer. We're gonna talk about 3 things going on in the world of sports. About to take a break. When we come back, it's gonna be more of me and my guy Chris Ingram here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Let's operate on the idea that they do win this tournament, get into the field of 68. What does that do to your perception of this year?
Nothing.
But I think winning it would be a soft landing for Penny and like the staff.
Absolutely.
And for everybody, because I think even if they win, for me, it's still a disappointing year. I think a lot of people in this fan base would be like, oh,
they still made it.
They still made it. He did what he promised, right. Yada, yada, yada.
And we know what could have been this year and what ultimately will not be because of the deficiencies that this team had and the way that they were constructed. This is the biggest what if team that I
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. TJ, before we get started, I want you to give a pat to Trey on his back. He needs it right now. I need you to give him a hug.
Trey already started bad, real
Trey
bad.
is down.
Welcome to the show.
Trey is down so bad right now.
I was about 350 yards away from the studio and was pulled over by a Shelby County sheriff and given a hands-free device ticket. I'm not getting points on my right now. I have 3 points. I've scored 3 points tonight, and that is 3 more points than Jordan Brown scored in 10 minutes the other day.
Savage, dude.
Savage. As my premiums of insurance are going to go up by 50 to 100%, possibly. But I will be going to 201 on May the 20th or whatever, 24th at 1:30 p.m.
I have zero faith in that actually working in your favor.
I have gone to court multiple times to fight a ticket, and literally me just showing up gets it dismissed.
That dude's going to be there waiting on you, for sure.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. My boy Chris Ingram hanging out with me again for the three-pointer where we talk about three things going on in the world of sports. A lot of HANs going out there, man. Hating ass naysayers out here in the world of sports, man. We're going to start off with probably the biggest, most diabolical hater of them all, man. Nick Saban. Get your hating ass up out of here, man. This dude running to the government, running to he said before Congress or something, whatever, the Senate, somebody, Capitol Hill, whoever.
Man.
Somebody went to Jamel Hill, somebody, bro, just hating on the NIL situation going on in college sports, saying that these guys are, it's out of control, need to be some sanctions on it. There is one element of the NIL that I am kind of critical of, right? It's one. The whole premise of these dudes getting their money. Who am I? Who are you? Who the F is Nick Saban to say how much these boys are worth, how much money they should or could make? Get that money, because ain't nobody gonna tell Nick Saban, man, you ain't worth $10 million. No, he gonna get his paper, and when he tied Alabama, he gonna leave and go to another school, get their paper. He gonna do whatever he got to do. So these players should have that same right. If you want to do back pay to it, these dudes have been playing college football for damn near a century, and these players have just not started getting their money 3 or 4 years ago. So don't do all that, man, because there's some guys who who owe some money. You know what I mean? I can think of a lot of college football players that imagine Johnny Manziel, if NIL was around, the money he could have made off his name while everybody else was making money off his name. You know what I mean?
Man, Reggie Bush still getting,
bro.
Man, come on, man.
That Reggie Bush jersey sale right now. He ain't making a dime off of it. All right, so I'm with all that. There is one thing these guys are saying, whether it's Nick Saban or whether it's Coach Prime, my guy, Deion Sanders, saying it, that I have to agree with. If it's NIL, I think it needs to be name, image, and likeness. The collective stuff can get kind of sketchy. Yeah. Because Coach Prime was like, okay, if you got an NIL deal, where's your commercial? Because that's where I was when they talk about this certain kid from Memphis got an NIL deal. Like, where their commercials at? You know what I mean? So I think it should have to be something like that. Because otherwise, you're just getting paid by the school. And if that's what you're doing, just say you're getting paid by the school. Because I ain't mad at that either, you know what I mean? But if you're going to call it, your endorsement deal can't be fundraising for the school's collective. You know what I mean? Right. That can't be, what your endorsement is. But if it is, I mean, that's what it is too. But Nick Saban, like I said, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, man. Like, these guys had no problem, making money off all these kids forever. Now the kids are making the money and you can't control them. You know what I mean? You can't. And he's like, man, we're developing these dudes in the NFL. Dude, you got a team stacked full of the best players in the country coming out of high school and the best players in college football. You're not the reason why these dudes go to the NFL. Those dudes could have went to Troy State. They would have been in the NFL, man. Like, stop the cap for sure. So what are your thoughts on that whole thing, man? Yeah, I mean, like, and even with, like I said, the collective thing, I ain't mad at that either because, University of Memphis has a collective, and it works very well. It's got us very good players because of it. So I ain't totally knocking that concept, but you know, I get that. I get why somebody can feel away about that. But all the other stuff, shut your mouth, Nick Saban.
Yeah. He really looking like a Karen for sure.
Hey, how you gonna quit it? Who gives a damn what you think at this point, bro? You ain't coaching no more.
And then you sit next to Ted Cruz, like, bro, like, bro, like, it's so whack, you know. To like you said, the kids deserve the money that they bring into these schools. Like, you look at Alabama, like they've been wearing the same uniform for what 80 years. They don't even ain't like they like Oregon. They pushing out 80 uniforms a year. Like, y'all are bringing so much attention.
Throw a 12 on that jump. Throw a 21 on it. Yeah, it's making money on top of money.
Yeah, like y'all making all this money, and then you upset. Like, you've been giving NIL deals, really, Saban, already. We know you got a Dodge contract. You've been giving these dudes Hellcats coming out of high school. We know this. Like, but now that they can control it, you got a problem with it. I literally have no problem with NIL, like, at all. Like, it makes sense. Pay these kids. The only issue that I have is when you mix it. It's like you mix feelings with alcohol, right? Like, this stuff is never gonna come good with that.
Yeah,
the portal being mixed with NIL is what, like,
oh
really
man,
stuff. Like, because you got guys literally every year it's going to the highest bidder every single year. How much can this team? Man, I don't care if we just want a natty. I'm finna go to this school because they're gonna pay me a lot of money, and I'm gonna start. If I go to the league, maybe not. I don't care. Yeah, that's the part that I don't really like. I ain't gonna say I don't rock with it because do what you want to do, but it just kind of, for me, it takes away the tradition of that, like, tradition and the pride that you have for your school. Like, Memphis playing right now.
By the time you get to know these dudes, they're gone.
They gone. Like, we getting all these relationships with Quinterly and Tomlin, and came in halfway in the season, and we loving him, but bro, man, I mean, he probably ain't gonna, like, I don't like that we can't really see these guys grow, you know. And so even with the Memphis guys. Yeah, the Memphis guys that got picked up, like Givens and Richmond. Like, I would love to see them would have stayed home, but even if they would have stayed,
the way NIL works and the way transfer portal works, more than likely you will see them in Memphis, just not next year. You know what I mean? Yeah, more likely you will see them here. Yeah,
it's just it's an ugly situation, bro. So like, that's the portal is a separate conversation from this. Nick Saban just got to shut the F up, bro. Like, it's just
could be in the hater, man.
You ain't the one to lead this one.
Yeah. Number 2, this isn't hating. Totally different spin on NIL, though. Gilbert Arenas shared his thoughts on it. Gilbert Arenas is the son of a top high school prospect, one of the top high school prospects in the country. And as a father, I listened to what this brother said a little different. Gilbert Arenas, I ain't gonna lie, is one of my favorite content creators, former player, traditional media, whatever. He's one of my favorite guys to listen to. Might be on some bullshit 7 times out of 10. But just the way he puts his stuff out there, I respect Gilbert. I love his presentation style. He sounds goofy as hell often. Like, he'll say some wild shit. But I rock with Gil. You know what I mean? That's just the way I like how his show is set up. It's just dope. You know what I mean? So he said something today that really made me think. And he said today, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but basically he was saying, I don't even entertain NIL stuff with my kid. And he said, and people are like, well, Gil, you're rich. You know, your kid, of course you're not. You just that's not life-changing money for you. Right. But I will say this, bro. Even the kid who doesn't have Gilbert Arenas as a dad, you have to be careful playing the NIL game because you'll start thinking like a semi-pro athlete. And that's what I thought. That's what I gathered from what Gilbert Arenas was saying. He was like, man, my son is not going to be on my son's path to hitting the ultimate goal of being in the NBA and being an NBA great at that. He doesn't have time to be the face of more money taxes or, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, man, focus on getting to the league. And he basically was saying, I don't knock the NIL, but it's these agents feeling like they're going to craft my son's future and pinch off of this of his and get this. And he was like, no, man, he has a dad. I can help him with that. And his dad is Gilbert Arenas. Right. He basically was telling his story, but I think there were some things that he said in there that any father could pull from, because he was just saying, don't let your kid get so caught up in the 250,000 that they miss the 250 million.
Talk about it.
Because you see guys that are picking up really bad habits, man. I was listening to Norton Hurd, and then my guy D Wilkes came on, And he was saying either off the air or on there, he said some similar things. Kind of like these guys with these NIL deals, these guys start getting mad and then they like, well, I'm just gonna screw this dude. I'm gonna get my money anyway and all that. And then you don't get to the next level because you stunted in college or you stunted on your coach in college basketball.
Right.
Oh, okay. Enjoy that 250 because the millions over here in the NBA,
they gone.
It ain't coming. You know what I mean? So I thought that was hella dope the way he was looking. A lot of people in the comments just kind of looking at the surface level. Oh, you're a millionaire, so of course your kids don't need the money. He wasn't about the making the money. He was just saying, don't let these things distract you from the real money that's coming. Don't be prisoner to this 20,000 here, 50,000 here, even though they even might be life-changing money to your family. Right. Don't get distracted from the goal. Because there were kids all throughout time who were making money, who weren't making money, who did what they had to do to get the millions. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Worry about that. Because what you can do, man, you could be a guy who's playing, you have a decent rookie season, instead of you going to the league, oh, man, I got another $500,000 coming. If I get drafted and go to the G League, if I'm a two-way player, no, man, go get in the draft. Do what Lester Quinones did. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's what I gathered from what he was saying. So what are your? I just did on the Real Rant just then. So what are your thoughts on what Gilbert Arenas said?
Man, it give you real old school dad vibes. Like we done seen so many of those like movies and situations where like you had a guy, phenom, and you having to have a coach or a mentor or a dad come there and say, hey man, just focus, man. Like you almost at your goal. Everything we've been working your whole life for is like right here. And it's the same thing. Like we were just talking about with Nick, bro. They've been giving NIL deals for the longest. It just was termed different or put up under the rug. You know how many people done Calipari or all these big coaches done went to these people's house and talked to their mama and told them and promised them all this stuff to get them to their school. And like you said, same thing. It just wasn't publicly, known. This one is just publicly known. And so I 100% agree, especially like, with him being who he is. Like, bro, I've been to the mountaintop. I don't care what you say about Gilbert Arenas. Dude was a killer. He was a killer, man. So if anybody, you want to listen to him. He's getting his son in, prime position to be a top 5 pick. I remember that's one of the things he said. Like, that's what we focus on, is making him a top 5 pick, not a top 5 in NIL, which this ain't to knock nobody. But Bronny James, I want to say, is the top NIL player in the whole country.
He'll be right back in college basketball next year.
Maybe till Hill Jr. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. And
I ain't knocking it. I ain't knocking it either, but I'm just saying. Right. I ain't saying the NIL is a distraction. I'm glad that kid can get on the court at all with his heart condition. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. But, yeah, man. So
that's the thing. I'm excited to see Gil's son, bro. I've stamped it. I think he's gonna be the coldest superstar son we've ever seen.
Oh man, that's big shoes to fill, man. Who is the coldest so far? Then who are you saying? Steph?
Been none.
Yeah.
Well, his dad won a superstar though.
Oh, superstar son.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's easy pickings then. Yeah, I give you that.
Cayenne got a chance, but
you mean like all-star and up? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, if Karl Malone took care of his kids, who knows? But anyway.
Man, you can say Anthony. Anthony Edwards or Jimmy Butler.
Michael Jordan. Yeah, exactly. My conspiracy brother. I can see Ant right. Hey, hold on, now. Don't leave me out. Jimmy, hey, me either now. This the OG Jordan. Man. Oh man. Oh man, for sure. But number 3, this is just a weird one, wild one. Speaking of hating, Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest centers of all time, one of my favorite players to watch. When you start having GOAT conversations, I don't put him in this conversation, but I do put him in most dominant, game-changing players. There are players who I say broke the NBA. Allen Iverson broke the NBA with the crossover dribble. Steph Curry with the range and the volume of threes he was taking and making broke the NBA. Dirk Nowitzki, being a big man that can step out and shoot threes and just refusing to be a traditional big man, broke the NBA, bro. And Shaquille O'Neal literally broke the NBA with his size and dominance in the paint. Man, scary player to not cheer for. I remember cheering for him when I was an Orlando Magic fan, was Penny was there, and then hating him when I was a fan of every other team, especially when I was a Portland Trailblazers fan. I'm a big Scottie Pippen fan. And when I saw Scottie in Portland, man, Shaq gave me nightmares how cold he was, So one of the most dominating players I've ever seen. But something I always say, man, it just bothers me how big of haters this last generation of players is. Like the guys we grew up on, right? Like, bro, why do you knock the current game so much, bro? Like, you don't see that in any other sport. You've never seen NFL commentators, except for Troy Aikman and Patrick Mahomes, right? That's like the only instance you can think of that like anybody threw some shade on another guy.
Right.
But like you just don't see it. You do not see that in baseball. You don't see it in hockey. You don't see it in the NFL. And you would think in the NFL, which is the most physical sport, you would get these guys, these other pussies all the time. But like you just don't see it, bro. Like they don't. These guys they protect the brand, they protect the legacy of the shield. You know, going forward, man. Baseball, super traditional sport like that. You don't see them guys trashing these dudes, man. Even the guys who do things that you know they think are trash, like whatever unwritten rules of baseball they're breaking. Like guys don't really be tripping on these. They prop the stars up. Shaq basically taking the shit on Rudy Gobert, saying he's overrated as a defender, and guys like guys like me and Jokic, man, would kill him. Do you just start giving Jokic props, bro? You know what I mean? Like Shaq
just started.
Like I don't get it, bro. It's just because Shaq, he did the thing we damn near tried to make Donovan Mitchell like acknowledge that he was like how you listen to me and step your game up. Like, man, get your big ass. Like, Shaq, bro, you my man, bro. You my guy, bro. But, man, what's up with the hate, man? Like, stop. Let these dudes go hoop, man. Let these dudes play ball, man. So, speak on it, man. Like, bro, Rudy Gobert is a dominating defender, bro. Like, get the hell out of here. Now, can he deal with your big ass? Probably not, bro. You dominated everybody. And Jokic is he dominate everybody, too. Man, don't act like Gobert ain't nothing, man. Get out of here, Shaq. But go ahead, bro.
It's back in my day ass dudes, bro. Like,
man.
You like you said, you coming from a place of you stick Shaq in any era of NBA,
he gonna dominate.
Name one person that can stop him. Like it's just like so. I get it.
On this man, like he can't play.
Yeah, like I get it, bro. Like you did what you did and all this stuff, but like at the same time, Shaq, like it's just it get tiring, bro. Like unless you're gonna get out here, and this is my issue, like, and I've always had this mindset. This ain't even got nothing to do with sports. It's just life. If you're gonna always present problems, bro, just make sure you got a solution coming behind it. For him to be a person that literally all he does for the most part, you know, Charles, that's all he do is hate. Charles, I take it with a grain of salt. He's an entertainer to me. Like, Charles, he cares about Charles, and I don't even really care what EJ got to say too much anyway, because he go off the rails, say some wild shit quick. But for Shaq, bro, like how many times have we seen him? Now, granted, Hakeem is charging folks $50,000 to train with him, which is wild. But how many times have we seen Shaq like kind of reach back and
to
anybody? Like you hated on Dwight, I get it.
Who he really should have been mentoring.
Thank you. Yep. He was you coming after you, bro, and you just shitted on him. Like I can't point to nobody that he's done that with. Haven't even really seen him do too much with his kids. Like they out here doing what they do, but it's like, damn, bro, like you ain't got to be there.
This is my money. This ain't your money. This is my money to your son. Man, please, whatever I got, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But yeah, that's a 3-pointer. Chris, I tell you what, man, I got one more segment left, man. You gonna rock with me on that one too?
Man, let's knock it out, bro. We here now.
Let's get it there, man. Let's get it. It's Inside the Sain Brain coming up next here. Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
I believe this was Thursday or Friday of last week when I checked it, and there were 2 teams projected to be in from the American. What's hurting Memphis more than anything is freaking South Florida is 15-1 in the conference.
The Rice loss,
right? That's
buddy. Take that one loss away, and you're like, okay, I could talk myself into a 9 or 10 seed easily, right? Now.
But that's a big blemish on the record.
It's huge.
I think the chances are very slim.
Yeah,
I think there's no way that Memphis can go into Fort Worth believing that they got it wrapped up.
Beat Florida Atlantic, wrap up the year. You'd be 23-8. So they win 3 games, 26-8, and you lose that final game against a pretty decent opponent. You've made the case, But like in the end of the day, we're still gonna be sitting there on Selection Sunday, like just hoping and praying.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
And if you continue to play the starters 30 plus minutes a night,
Please do that. Please do that.
I mean, 33 really. The only one that didn't get, everybody got 33 or more with the exception of Jordan. He played 29, which is fine. I think that's good. He had a good night too. Stick with the starters is what we were saying, Kenny, right?
Yep.
And what did he do in the second half amongst that run?
Played him for 13 straight minutes.
Straight,
That's a
not
record.
a sub.
That's a record.
There was a moment in the second half where both JQ and David looked over and were like, yeah, I need a sub. And Payne's like, no, we're good. Yeah. I'm like, when is that in the history of anything? When
No, you shut your mouth. Keep playing.
Shut your mouth. When has that ever happened?
No, you shut up. You keep playing.
What's going on?
Penny just looks off into the crowd like,
Why
I didn't see you, man. I'm sorry.
Why couldn't we have had that
We've had subs at 75 seconds into the game.
3 months ago? You couldn't have given a, no, I'm good. Keep playing.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Final segment of the show. My man Chris Ingram, No Bluffin Podcast, is in the building. We were joking during the break, man, because what we're about to do now is also me and Chris do another podcast together, the Sain and NIL Podcast, every Sunday, live on Facebook, live on Twitter, live on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Sain and NIL Podcast. We talk plenty of shit. Us in the cast. We talk about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with sports, for the most part.
Right.
If there's something where sports and crazy shit come together, we'll talk about that. For the most part, we ain't talking about sports. So these are the type of topics you will see on the Sain and NIL Podcast. With me and my man Chris Ingram and the rest of our crew. We like our future of the Wu-Tang is 10 folks on the screen at one time, but we do it pretty good each and every Sunday, man. Check it out. You'll definitely enjoy it to see guys like me and Chris chopping about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with sports. Just real shit going on out here in the world, man.
Yeah, man.
Talk about hashtag Charlie. Look it up. Look it up. You'll see. Look it up, man. Episode 1.
That was a classic.
That was episode 1. Yeah, episode 1. Yeah, Charlie.
Oh, man.
All right. So today we'll talk about something that I'm seeing, but I'm not really paying much attention to. But I kind of see what's going on. I think I know what it's all about. But it's people talking about TikTok possibly being banned. The government is jumping in. The U.S. government is wanting to ban TikTok. I think you may know a little bit more about this than I know about it, but I think it has something to do with they believe that other countries may be spying on the United States using this app. Is that what's going on?
From what I've seen, that's what it is. Like, you see them posts on Facebook, you be trying to like take them with a grain of salt or whatever, but like it's something with like everything that you be giving these permissions to these apps on your phone. It ain't just to use it for what you think you're using it for. Like literally they can get in and do whatever. So that's really what it come from. And when you break it down like that, I understand it, bro. Like China really be fooling with us. They sending spy balloons on top of us. They TikTok, they listening to what we talking about right now. They know everything about the Grizzlies right now. Right. So I get it, but I mean, you can say that about any social media platform. So I'm indifferent, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Like it's I don't really have too much to say about it other than TikTok is just making some people famous that probably don't need to be famous. I hate I know who Risa Tisa is,
Right.
There's this little kid that talks in a country accent. I know who that little kid is. You know what I'm talking about? Little kid, a little cowboy or something.
Yep.
Is it good for now? I fell down this rabbit hole of watching this dude count change that he gets out of his washing machines at the laundromat. I can't stop watching this dude count change. Like I'm stuck. But for the most part, I'm not. If TikTok goes away, everything that's on TikTok, people are doing it on YouTube too. Now, shout out to the content creators who use TikTok, who are getting money off of it. This feels like it's about to happen because I want to say the first vote passed, like it went through, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of scary when you think about it, though, man, because like you think about permissions, like with AI, right? When you're uploading your pictures to these AI things, you're giving those people full access to those pictures, and those pictures belong to them at this point. They can do what they want to do. And I think what's going to happen, man, you're going to start looking up on some underwear ad, and your damn face going to be on there, and you can't really do nothing about it. You know what I mean? Or you're going to look at a porn movie, and it's you up there, you know what I mean, getting pissed on. I mean, you know what I mean? Like for real, bro. Like, that's where technology is going, because AI is at the point now, man, this shit is making full movies, movie quality renderings off of just whatever your mind can think of. It's really getting scary, man. Like, man, did y'all watch the movie AI? Did y'all watch all these movies about all this scary stuff that can happen because of technology? Did y'all watch Planet of the Apes? You know what I mean? So it's crazy, scary times we live in. And like I said, this looks like it's for real, man. I'm sure it's some level of control to it on the American side as well. The fact that they're taking this down. Because TikTok might have been giving us the road to freedom in some areas, you know what I mean? So the U.S. government jumped in. I'm sure it's a two-way street that they're eliminating, some good and some bad that they're trying to eliminate for sure. I don't really know what's to it. I guess we'll know in coming weeks how that whole thing goes down. Shout out to people like Zacchaeus, who makes the best fried chicken in the world. Praying for the young lady. I think she'll be getting it in. She's a TikTok star.
I just saw her today, bro.
Man, that shit is crazy. Did you see what the dude reached out to her and was like saying he wishes she would stop eating like that?
Yeah,
man was lying, man. But,
yeah, man. We glorify so much stuff because it's entertaining us. Like you said, like you'll see something you down on a rabbit hole. Watching somebody count change is crazy.
Count change. Can't stop watching this.
I understand what you're talking about.
Damn, like, I want a laundromat because I do want a laundromat. Like I've been wanting a laundromat for real.
Me too.
When I saw that dude pulling that big ass stack of money, I was like, sheesh.
Cash cows, bro.
What you saying? Hey, let's get one, bro. For real.
We gonna talk. But what's the chick she was on there doing? Something so good, like the NPC people. You know what I'm talking about? She was a chick and she was acting like she was in a video game. So people was like, they was sending her money and she was making these weird noises and saying something like, ride you like a cowboy. Ride you like a cowboy.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Like it was just some bro. Like
corny men just make too many people too much money, bro. It's this lady. I have no clue how I got to be friends with this lady on Facebook, right? But this is white lady, real hippie, real curvy, really attractive lady. I have no clue how me and this lady got to be Facebook friends. But she gets up every day, drinks coffee, and a bunch of horny ass dudes is just in her comments. And all she's doing is like talking about nothing, really, but just, and she'll tell you, look, I'm not trying to date none of y'all. I ain't trying to do none of that. But she's like living off of just like getting on TikTok, or she goes live once a day. I'm like, shout out to that lady, you know what I mean? But it's crazy, bro. Like horny dudes are just the reason why a lot of people are rich. You know what I mean? For the most part. But seriously. This TikTok ban is wild because TikTok, of course, is a very popular app. TikTok really changed the music industry for real, though, man. People are strategically making songs for these short formats. People start re-releasing old albums, sped up for TikTok or slowed down for TikTok or both, making money off of it. Drake, of course, had a #1 song, the Tootsie Slide song. Reached out to influencers. They made a song. People are making songs now. I was like, they're trying to make a TikTok dance out of it, or just a TikTok sound to put with a clip or something. And like this kid, what's the name? Four Bats has blown up off of his strictly no marketing. His music got on TikTok, and now he's got Drake features and signed to OVO. You know what I mean? That type of stuff, bro. So it's definitely a fast moving machine. But it's like if somebody made a lot of points, like if all the things the United States government is let slide, let's bear down on TikTok, you know. So man. It's interesting, man. But like I said, that's it. That's all I pretty much got for that. My boy Chris Ingram, man, come check him out. Check him out the No Bluffin Podcast. Check him out on my show, the Sain Podcast, every Sunday at 8. I don't know. You guys gonna come on Mondays, right? You guys release
Monday at noon. Yes, sir.
Right. I think you guys' video comes out this Monday. I probably should have got that information before we recorded today. But Chris, any final words for you? That's the end of the show. Any final words you got for people? Where can they check you out? Any final words again about No Bluffin Podcast or anything in general?
Man, just make sure y'all subscribe on like Sain said. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we'll be doing the audio and we'll be adding video. I'm definitely excited for that.
Bluff City Media on YouTube. Subscribe to it. My guy, Chris Ingram, proud of him, man. Good to see another brother. Oh my God, I just kind of adopted my boy. What's my guy name? Francis Carlotta. His brother.
Man. Hey man, your bits on Francis and Roman, dog. Yeah, you got to get Roman on the show because I got to see that back and forth, dog. Them bitches be having me laughing.
Hey, Roman got to get permission slip to get on my show, man. I tell you what, man, we about to slide about this joint, man. For my boy Kenny Summerfield behind the glass somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And we up. My boy Kenny Summerfield behind the glass. My boy Chris Ingram, man, proud of you, brother. Check out the show, man. I want to say it starts this Monday on video. Check him out on Bluff City Media. Subscribe, wherever listen to podcast. Check us out this Sunday, 8 o'clock, Sain and NIL Podcast, talking plenty of shit. Having a good time, good positive conversation. It's not a battle of the sexes. We're trying to come to solutions about all type of things going on in this crazy world we live in, man. We are just trying to make change, having good conversation, man. Check it out. But we'll see you guys next time we do this, and we up out of here.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.